Now, what about the confidential funds? Which specific person or head of your agency do you report to?
As to confidential funds, sir, I received the obligation from the Office of the Vice President because Office of the Vice of the VP proper, because she signs the documents, sir, as the head of the agency.
So there's no middleman, for example, or there's no person tasked to coordinate with you. It's directly to the office, the Vice President herself.
There are sir, there are admin clerks that responsible for.
Ngayon, pwede mo ba banggitin muli dito sa committee ito, ano po ang period covered ng mga confidential funds na nirelease sa Office of the Vice President?
Yung sa fourth quarter ng 2022 po.
Fourth quarter of 2022, na kung saan, ano po yung mga petsa ng utilization ng confidential funds?
December 21 to 31, 2022 po.
At yung mga ibang petsa na sumunod dito sa confidential funds that was released on the last quarter of year 2022?
That's it po. December 21 to 31, 2022.
Yes. Ano pa yung mga sumunod na petsa after year 2022?
Yung 2023 po.
Yes.
February 6 to March 29, that is for the first quarter, and April 25 to June 30 for the second quarter. That's July 14 to September 30 ng third quarter.
So, malinaw, Mr. Chair, na ang pinakaunang confidential funds na nirelease sa Office of the Vice President ay may petsa na December 20 of 2022. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And ibig sabihin, walang confidential funds ang Office of the Vice President sa petsa na Nobyembre 27 taong 2022. Tama po ba yun?
Wala pa po, Mr. Chair.
Wala pa. Pati na rin doon sa petsa na December 12 of 2022. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, ibig sabihin nito, Attorney Camora, imposible na ang nakasulat diyan sa dalawang acknowledgement receipt na may binigay raw ang Office of the Vice President galing sa confidential funds noong November 27 at December 12 of 2022. Hindi ho ba?
Kung galing po sa na-cash advance, hindi po yan galing sa cash na advanced nung December 21 po.
21. Okay. So, imposible, no? Na
yes, Mr. Chair.
Yung cheque dated December 20, 2022 at yung cash ng December 21 at yung utilization, in fact, December 21 to December 31. So, imposible na meron tayong acknowledgement receipt na ang petsa ay November 27 at December 12 of 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, kung nandito ka po ba nung last November 5, 2024 hearing?
Opo yata, Mr. Chair.
Yes, and in fact,
before this,
yes, before this.
Before last hearing po with the people pa from the OVP.
Alright. So, noong nakaraang November 5, 2024 hearing, na-establish na yung mga acknowledgement receipts na dated 2023 pero sinubmit para sa December 2022. Natatandaan mo ba yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At kung alam po ninyo, ilan ang mga acknowledgement receipts na dated 2023 na sinubmit para sa confidential funds for the last quarter of 2022?
Hindi ko na maalala, Mr. Chair, kasi kayo po yata yung nagbigay ng data.
Actually, it was not me. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Honorable Rog Gutierrez.
Opo.
So, around 150 plus acknowledgement receipts. Hindi ho ba? Kung matatandaan ho ninyo.
153.
150 plus.
Opo,
acknowledgement
153 for 158.
58, to be exact. Can you please confirm with your records kung ilan po na acknowledgement receipts
158.
158 to be exact, correct?
Opo.
So, in other words, ito pong mga acknowledgement receipts are another example of ARs na in-issue outside of the period covered by confidential funds. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Again, ano ho ba ang mali dito? Yung mga acknowledgement receipts or yung source of fund?
Yung acknowledgement receipt po.
Yung acknowledgement receipts bearing those dates that will not conform with the period that was covered by the confidential funds, correct?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So, sa palagay po ba ninyo, Attorney Camora, maaari ba natin sabihin na ito pong 158 na mga acknowledgement receipts, sa tingin nyo po ba ito ay due to typographical error?
Mr. Chair, ang binigay nila pong dahilan sa compliance nila is inadvertence po.
Inadvertence meaning pwedeng isa sa mga rason ay due to typographical errors.
Yes,
Tama?
Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ngayon, after the acknowledgement receipts with questionable 2023 dates na brought up last hearing, can you please confirm if they were part of the notice of disallowance for the amount of 73.28 million?
Mr. Chair, parang hindi na po siya umabot sa notice of disallowance. Parang nasa notice of suspension po siya.
But they are part of that notice of suspension?
Meron po yata kaming observation na ganun, sir.
So, ibig sabihin, can we state that due to the questionable acknowledgement receipts that was discovered last hearing, it appears that there should be additional 17.6 million that should be disallowed. Anyway, these are matters left for the Commission on Audit to look into. Tama ho?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you like to enlighten us about this issue? Do you have something in your hand?
Meron po kasi yung mga pinoint out na kasi may mga na-disallow na po kami and then may mga na-point out during the hearing na questionable acknowledgement receipts. So, tinignan po namin kung ano tong mga to. Kung nakasama na ba siya sa disallowance or not. So, if hindi pa nakasama sa disallowance, pwede po pong mag-issue ng supplemental.
Alright. Anyway, Mr. Chair, I would like to manifest that of the total amount covered by those acknowledgement receipts with questionable dates, which is totaling of 26.32 million, there's an overlap with the acknowledgement receipts disallowed under the notice of disallowance. So, may mga natitira pa po na 17.6 million which does not overlap. And in fact, this is the additional amount which should be disallowed by COA. Tama ho ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And with that, Mr. Chair, I would like to add my questions by moving that this questionable, dubious, spurious acknowledgement receipts be referred to the Philippine Statistics Authority to verify if the names enumerated therein really exist. I so move, Mr. Chair. Just to repeat my motion, Mr. Chair, I would like to move that this dubious, spurious, and highly irregular acknowledgement receipts be referred to the Philippine Statistics Authority or the PSA to verify the names enumerated therein if these persons really exist. I so move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion to refer the dubious acknowledgement receipt to the PSA. Is there any second to the motion?
Second.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Secondly, Mr. Chair, I would like to move also that the acknowledgement receipts be referred to the National Bureau of Investigation and the Philippine National Police for them to assist us in conducting a handwriting or signature examinations to verify whether the recipients of these confidential funds are real or not, with Miss Mary Grace Piatos as the first priority. I so move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion to refer acknowledgement receipt to the National Bureau of Immigration.
NPL.
NBI, National Bureau of
Investigation.
Investigation.
National Bureau of Investigation. Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
That would be all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair would like to recognize the Honorable... Yes, Congressman Paduano.
Admin matters, Mr. Chairman.
But before I recognize Congressman Paduano, the chair would like to recognize the Honorable Ernesto M. Dionisio Jr. from the 1st District of Manila and Honorable Lianda Bolilla, Deputy Majority Leader from 4th District of Batangas. Yun pa ba? Yes, the chair would like to recognize
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admin matters po, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, previously I moved to issue a subpoena to the SECOP to the CCTV video footages of the land bank, both branches. With that, Mr. Chairman, since the land bank explained to us that the existence of such video is only good for 90 days. So, Mr. Chairman, I move to withdraw such motion, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion to withdraw the previous motion of Congressman Paduano. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Next, the chair would like to recognize the next interpellator, the Honorable Romy Jacob. With the intelligence of Congressman Romy Jacob, the chair would like to recognize Congressman Zia Alonto Adjong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Chairman Jacob. Mine is just a procedural / yung admin processes po within the Office of the Vice President, because as I was listening to the explanation of Attorney Lopez, compartmentalized daw yung kanilang trabaho. Thus, may mga disconnect and probably miscommunication at hindi pagkakaintindihan. That's why we have trouble understanding really what's going on in terms of the utilization of the confidential funds. And I'd like to direct my question, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Tenido. Mr. Tenido, you are the head of the Chief of the Administrative Officer po kayo, no? Bureau sa Budget Division.
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
And you were here last committee hearing.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And you are also in charge of not only even the regular funds, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. You said earlier, yung regular funds ba at saka yung confidential funds, you also prepare for that?
During budget proposal, yes, Mr. Chair.
So you know which one is the regular funds and which one is the confidential?
Actually, in my understanding, sir, both the confidential expense is within the budget of the OVP. So I see it as there is no distinction between regular fund and confidential fund.
Yeah, because there's a letter signed by the Vice President naming you as the parang the contact person on matters relating to fundings, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Hindi lang dun sa confidential funds, but even the regular funds, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you were here last hearing, is it correct?
Correct, Mr. Chair.
And that you mentioned when you were asked that you were requested to request DBM for the release of the confidential funds.
I prepared the draft, Mr. Chair, of the 4 items to be requested.
And who requested you to prepare for the draft of the request for the release of the confidential funds?
I got the instruction from the management, Mr. Chair.
Can you be more specific?
The Office of the Chief of Staff and the Assistant Chief of Staff.
Which, you mean to say the Office of Attorney Lopez?
Yeah, that's correct, Mr. Chair.
So who instructed you to prepare for the what do you call that, for the plan? Is that part of the physical plan na sinasabi nila? That you need
the physical and financial
yes,
plan?
Yes. Who instructed you to prepare for that? Which specific person Kasi medyo malabo po yung kanina yung kwento. Which specific person under the Office of the Chief of Staff instructed you to prepare for the request of the confidential funds to be released?
The instruction was from the Office of the Chief of Staff.
I know.
The,
But which specific person?
COS Attorney Lopez.
Attorney Lopez instructed you to prepare for the request for the release of the confidential funds.
Just the request at that time, sir, the request.
Siyang nagsabi sa'yo, exactly.
Including all other items.
What other items?
The augmentation for the additional funds for the medical assistance, and then for the additional personnel, sir, PS plantilla.
Yeah, but these are the regular funds, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. May I ask Attorney Lopez, ma'am? By the way, thank you very much for attending this committee hearing, and I hope whoever is your relative in the United States, I hope that person recovers soon. No? I'd like to ask you, have you narinig naman po yung sinabi ni Mr. Tenido, no? Na coming from you, instructed him to prepare for the request so that the confidential funds would be released, no? Is that correct? Did I hear him correctly? Did you do that?
I confirm that, Your Honor. It was actually, the output is a letter addressed to the Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management. It was a request we made that was actually approved and recommended, that was given recommended approval by the DBM and was released by the Office of the President.
So you instructed him, just to be sinabihan niyo po siya na gumawa na po siya, mag-prepare po siya kung ano man ipaprepare ng dokumento para i-request po sa Department of Budget and Management na ma-release po yung confidential funds. Tama po ba yun?
Hindi po ma-release, Your Honor. Mag-request.
Yes, mag-request.
Among other things.
Yes, mag-request, and then for the request for the release of the confidential funds. Is it correct?
Not release, Your Honor. Our request is only for request for that budget alongside with all the other items that was
exactly among others, di ba? Tama po ba yun?
Request for, Your Honor, it could either be disapproved or approved.
Yeah, I know. But that's beside the point. The point is that, kasi kanina po gusto kong intindihin because you said earlier po, Attorney Lopez, if I heard you correctly, you have nothing to do with confidential funds. So I presume wala talaga kasi there's a specific person tasked to do the request, for the planning, etc. And that's why I asked Mr. Tenido, sino yung kinokontak nyo when it comes to the request to DBM? Kasi ang sinabi po dito sa letter is kay Mr. Tenido, yung magiging point person po ng DBM, contact person, hindi ho ba? So that's why I'm asking now, Mr. Tenido, because I want to compartmentalize, as you said, no? But now the answer is that you, under the Office of the Chief of Staff, instructed him to contact DBM, no? Among other things, for the release of the confidential funds. So are you now saying still maintain your position that you have nothing to do whatsoever with the confidential funds?
Your Honor,
Gusto ko lang po maintindihan na, Mr. Attorney Lopez.
As mentioned earlier by Mr. Tenido, it forms part of the budget. So it is, and because it is part of the budget of the Office of the Vice President, and as the USEC and Chief of Staff, I signed off and made that instruction, Your Honor.
Yeah, but can you help me understand in which parameters should we say that you were no longer part of anything about confidential funds? Kasi gusto ko lang po maintindihan yan because the way I understood it based on the questions kanina is you have nothing to do with the confidential funds and you cannot speak anything about confidential funds. You are not competent enough to answer any questions in relation to confidential funds. And yet, sa iyo po nanggagaling instruction pagdating po doon sa pag-contact ni Mr. Tenido sa DBM, among other things, not just the regular funding but even the confidential fund. Can you further explain it to me, Mr. Chair?
Okay. Your Honor, Mr. Chair, as mentioned earlier, compartmentalized. I am not privy to the disbursement, utilization, and the liquidation of the confidential funds. But as it forms part of the budget, and it was a legitimate budget request, I was part of that request, Your Honor.
Mr. Tinido, gusto ko lang matanong, who do you coordinate, for example, in terms of the utilization of the regular funds, for example?
The utilization. Usually, usually the process po is what we do is to obligate the transaction.
Okay.
So when we do the obligation, doon po namin nalalaman kung cash advance ba yan, reimbursement, or payment dahil may purchase order. So that is the time that when we capture na po yung transaction, and then we will record it na po as
So
part of
which
the transaction.
office in your department do you closely coordinate when it comes to this utilization, this disbursement, etc.?
Actually, sir, lahat. Kasi lahat naman po ng offices may...
Okay, let me be more specific. Which particular head of division of office do you coordinate? Regular funds lang to, ha?
Yes po. For example, sir, for the medical assistance, I closely coordinate with the head of the public assistance division. That is for the medical and burial assistance. And then for the like pagbabago bags, that is under the care of the special projects division. And then for the relief items or relief goods, I coordinate or I inquire always with the Disaster Operations Center.
Does the Office of the Chief of Staff do have a say on this?
During the process of procurement, there's none, sir.
Okay. Now, what about the confidential funds? Which specific person or head of your agency do you report to?
As to confidential funds, sir, I received the obligation from the Office of the Vice President because Office of the VP proper, because she signs the documents, sir, as the head of the agency.
So there's no middleman, for example, or there's no person tasked to coordinate with you. It's directly to the office, the Vice President herself.
There are admin clerks that are responsible for the routing or transmittal of documents.
I know, but I think you know where I'm driving at, no? Sino yung in charge? Kasi I want to understand kung sino ba talaga yung in charge doon. Kasi according to Attorney Lopez, she has nothing to do with the utilization and everything in relation to yung confidential fund. Wag natin sabihin na walang may alam, not even the...
It's from the Office of the VP, sir.
Yeah, but which particular person are we talking here?
Well, under the Office of the VP, there are the Office of the Chief of Staff and then the Office of Ms. Gina Acosta.
Ms. Gina, so sino ba talaga ang specific na person? Do you report or do you coordinate with Ms. Acosta or do you talk with Attorney Lopez?
Look,
I'm talking now not only the request but the actual releases. And
it would be reasonable to say that is from the Office of Ms. Gina Acosta because she is the special disbursing officer.
Okay, thank you. Now, I'd like to go back, Mr. Chair, to Attorney Lopez po. Attorney, kanina po na-bring up po yung issue ng sulat ninyo. Apo, kasi na-bring kanina po ni Deputy Speaker JJ Suarez. And basically, marami pong rason na na-cite po dito sa sulat na ito, no? Asking COA to comply, and you have stated several reasons why COA should not comply with the subpoena request, subpoena dos Stecom by the House, no? by the committee. Among those reasons, Mr. Chair, is that you explicitly said in the letter, among other things, that there is no congressional power to expose for the sake of exposure. I underline that because I want to ask you, Mr. Chair, since you're here, Mr. Chair, I assume that every word, every sentence, every paragraph, every phrase reflected in this letter, you believed with conviction that COA should not comply with the request or the subpoena powers of the House of Representatives. I'm just curious, Attorney Lopez, since you're already here, and earlier I thank you for your presence, do you still maintain this position, Mr. Chair? Attorney Lopez, do you still maintain the position that COA should not comply with the request of the House of Representatives and the subpoena order by this committee to acquire certain documents from the Commissioner of Audit?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. The position of the Office of the Vice President when we wrote that letter was to request COA to not yet give the said documents because there is an audit investigation ongoing. We feel that, we at the Office of the Vice President feel that it is yet too early to release documents because nothing has been made final. That was really the purpose of that request, Your Honor.
So you do, but my question is, do you still stick to your position? All the reasons and the arguments you have stated here, cited, some I guess you have cited the legal basis for COA not to comply. Do you still maintain that?
Yes, Your Honor, we stand by it. Actually,
do you stand by it? Still, up to now. So
yes.
You mean to say, here you mentioned, and I guess this is, para po sa akin, ito po yung position ninyo. The subpoena was not issued in aid of legislation and thus exceeds the legislative power of inquiry. Are you aware, Mr. Chair, Attorney Lopez, since you're a lawyer, that the Constitution grants the House of Representatives, the Congress for that matter, both the lower house and the Senate, the power to exercise, not only to create laws or introduce laws, but to exercise oversight functions, meaning to hold inquiry in aid of legislation, Mr. Chair. Are you aware of that, and do you believe that? That's an exclusive power that is exercised by Congress.
We respect that, actually, Your Honor. We recognize, as I mentioned earlier when this was asked, this letter by no means seeks to undermine the power of Congress to investigate or conduct inquiries in aid of legislation. But we feel that at that time, on the end of the Office of the Vice President, because there's still an ongoing audit investigation, we feel that it was not the right time to present or release such documents because nothing is yet final. That is our position. But it does not, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, seek to undermine the power of Congress. That is not the intention, which is why we also recognize the power of the Commission on Audit on all things involving audit. So we requested them. But it is still up, of course, to the Commission on Audit whether to grant a request or not. It was simply a statement of our position.
Mr. Chair, I'm not here to challenge your personal belief on matters, but I'm just trying to test, because your assertion, one of your assertion here is that the subpoena was not issued in aid of legislation and thus exceeds the legislative power of inquiry. Do you think this committee is exceeding its power granted to it by the Constitution? That's one of your assertions. I don't wanna challenge your position on this. I just want you to clarify to me.
Because early on, Your Honor, when the request was made, there was no pending legislation on this matter. There was no draft law or bill that was attached for that requested item to be released.
Are you aware? Yes. Okay. Are you aware, Mr. Chair? Are you aware, Mr. Chair, that there are laws existing and there are laws that have to be amended, and that's one of the reasons why we're holding or exercising, the House of Representatives exercises its power. In fact, it's not just a power; it's an obligation. It's a responsibility.
Your Honor,
wait. Let me finish, Attorney. I'm sorry. Sorry, but to exercise its power, oversight power, to review laws. The General Appropriations Bill or Act is a law. Everything that is specified under the GAA of 2022, 2023, 2024, these are all laws. And what we're discussing here, Mr. Chair, are funds and budget given to each agency precisely because they're granted by the power and the effect of a law. That's why they're using these funds, no? And in particular, the Office of the Vice President, the use of the confidential funds. That confidential funds will not be available to the Office of the Vice President had Congress did not enact these laws. So, I'm asking you again, do you still maintain your position that what we're doing here exceeds the power that is granted to us by the Constitution in the exercise of our oversight function?
Your Honor, I stand by the letter that was the position of the Office of the Vice President, and as stated in our position and in our letter to the Commission on Audit.
Okay, so do you still maintain your assertion that this inquiry that we're having right now exceeds the power that is granted to us by the Constitution? Do you still maintain that position?
Your Honor, I think I cannot answer that because that is really actually...
But this is one of your assertions.
I know. That is our assertion, Your Honor. But that is a legal issue as to whether you have the Congress has the power or not. But our position, Your Honor, as we have stated from the very beginning, is that we feel that because there is still an ongoing audit and nothing is final, we feel that it would be too early to release such information on the end of the Commission on Audit. That is basically what we are trying to request from the Commission on Audit.
When you say our position, does that mean who is our? Sino yung our?
The position of the Office of the Vice President, Your Honor, which the agency that is undergoing the audit investigation.
Anyway, Mr. Chair, I will no longer labor on this issue. I just want to give time for Attorney Lopez to maybe enlighten us kung bakit according to her ay nag-i-exceed ang committee na ito sa power na ginrant sa atin ng Constitution, and yet sinasabi naman po niya na she is recognizing the power of the House to exercise yung oversight function. I just don't get any clear answers po. Pasensya na po, Attorney Lopez, sa inyo. From the very start that one of my colleagues here started asking question, wala ho akong nakuhang klaro na sagot po sa inyo. Pasensya na po. Ganun lang po interpretation ko sa lahat po na naging kasagutan ninyo. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you po, Attorney Lopez, for your candid answers.